I have sat back and I have laughed so much this week. Imagine living in Oregon, California, or some other Democrat shithole and thinking you're flexing because you're telling me I am not going to vote for you. You don't have my vote. You've ruined the Georgia economy. One, why are you worried about the Georgia economy? And two, I'm in District 12, Georgia. That's 22 counties, 2 partial counties, and only 1 county votes Democrat. So you can't vote for me, nor would you anyway. And a civics class would have cured that illness. But you know what? Y'all do you, and it's unfortunate that you're so misinformed, and I'm glad that you don't vote. You probably don't vote, and that's a good thing, because if you did, you wouldn't be informed. Oh, and y'all get mad as hell when I don't respond to you, and when I block you, you seek me out on some other platform and ask me why I blocked you. Do you realize how mentally ill you look? Do you realize you're proving the point that we need to bring back mental health reform? And you can say whatever you want that you saw online, found online, whatever, but just keep telling my testimony, honey. Well, this past week, I received tons of threats, thousands of them, on my website, on my email, on my Facebook, on my social media, on my phone. And somebody's funding that because they're giving them the data. These people aren't just coming up with this on their own. So it's organized harassment. And in my opinion, it's organized terrorism. And these people are the same ones that vote left because the left tells them, the Democrats tell them, if you don't vote for us, you're going to lose your social programs. You're going to lose your Medicaid. You're going to lose your EBT. You're going to lose your civil rights. And they keep people grounded in that ideology so that they can get the votes. And that is what keeps this country sunk down in a hole, is because they sell social programs. They sell inequality to people. So George Soros doesn't write a check and send it to individuals, but he funds these societies that have these crazy ideologies that makes people feel like they're just being held down and can't have the same quality of life as everyone else. Well, I'll tell you what's a great motivator for hard work is hunger. Hunger is.
I think if I was over in Korea and I was setting up a factory for my job, which I'm an expert in, I'm a specialist. And while I'm there, I get arrested, sent back home, and then told, oh, I can return. They would have to reissue my visa right after they kiss the fattest part of my ass, because I'm not coming back.
I love how much you all are talking about me on the news. Hi, it's me, Tori. I'm here to just really double down about how stupid all of you are. It's me. I'm standing on business as always, but I also stand on carpet. I stand on wood. I stand on parquet. Sometimes I stand on vinyl, though I don't prefer it. I can't believe that she called out all of those Hyundai employees. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I did. I would do it again. I will do it tomorrow. I had no idea about any of the Korean employees because here's the thing. I thought that Korea, I just thought that that was a form of hair and skincare and barbecue. I did not know it was a country. Now that I know, big whoop-de-doo. It isn't America. Send them back to wherever they came from. Trump has them on a big cushy airplane back to where they came from. An airplane that I might remind you has never been to an island with children on it. Moving on. For everyone who thinks that this is just a big pissing contest, well, boy, have I got news for you. It's actually a shitting contest, and you have no idea the size dumps I can take. Oh boy, they are big. So here's another thing that I just think is like so freaking funny. You are not from where I'm from. These are not your neighbors, okay? And even if they were, I would throw them the hell out anyways, because do you want to know why, okay? We don't hire people like that in my state. Okay, we don't hire people who are illegal, and we do not hire slave labor. And here's the thing, everyone's like, oh my God, she wants slave labor done. Well, I'm sorry, does that make me bad? Do you guys want to hire slave labor? Last I checked, the whole point of having slave labor is that you don't have to hire them. So that's just a bad business decision. And I'm so sorry. I don't understand why anyone would be like, oh yeah, let's hire them. No, that's not the way that that works. Idiots. People talking about my campaign. Yes, it is going to be a campaign, but it's not going to be your regular campaign, okay? It's going to be a campaign of terror. It's going to be a campaign of fear. It's going to be a campaign of absolute madness, and it is going to be a campaign that you remember till the day you die, okay? Because if I'm not standing on business, I'm going to be standing on your necks. And this is going to be what you see as you drift away from this earth, this face. And you're going to see my little tiny suede booty that I bought at Kohl's 4 years ago that I still think look good, even though they don't. They absolutely don't. But I'm going to be the one standing on you as you leave this earth, okay? And you're going to like it.
Recently, you've heard stories about a MAGA Karen who called ICE on a Hyundai plant. Then, this MAGA Karen is from Georgia. So she picked up a phone and then, called ICE on a South Korean group that was working in Hyundai. Then she thinks that she's being patriotic, but in reality, her action triggered a chaos. Yes, triggered a chaos that ended up costing the states billions of dollars. The raid backfires, business suffer, jobs vanished, and even her own community feels the pain. The very American she thought would cheer her on turned against her. This is story of her hate turned into instant karma. A state like Georgia having an opportunity of getting a plant like Hyundai, LG battery plant, that was billions of dollars that was going to be invested in that state of Georgia. Then comes a MAGA. She finds some Koreans walking around in the state, and then what are they doing here? She went ahead, called ICE. Then ICE come and deport all those Koreans. Then they went back because those Koreans were on the visa. They have visa, working visa. That company have paid money for them to have working visa. Okay? So ICE, the Koreans went back to their countries because they know exactly they were legally in the United States, and what they were doing is the benefits of the Americans. So this woman thought that these Koreans are going to work in that plant alone, so they're not going to give American jobs. Then the idea was that this plant was there, just they were building. Imagine they were starting a plant, building, putting all the infrastructure. Then they're gonna call Americans to come and learn how they do it. Then they leave jobs for Americans. So she never done any research. Like the way we always say, she should have done research. So she never done any research. She just went ahead and, called ICE. Right now, she faced backlash from Americans asking her, why have you done that? Why have you not done research? We always tell MAGA, please do your research. Just a little research. Do your research. Try to understand before acting. Before acting. She wants people's vote right now. I don't know if she's going to get those votes, but people are angry at her because what she did, she made Georgia to lose billions of dollars, which was going to benefit them.
She called ICE, got these workers detained and shackled, and South Korea had to step in and tell our government to release them. They even sent their own charter plane to bring their people back. And the fallout? Billions of dollars gone. Over 8,000 potential American jobs wiped out. All because one random woman who wasn't even connected to the industry decided to play hero on the internet. She's since deleted her account, tried backpedaling, even claiming she didn't really call ICE, but the receipts are there. And the craziest part, even if locals were waiting for those jobs, they couldn't have taken them yet. The whole point of the South Korean team was to teach Americans how to build this plant. Now South Korea is pulling back. People over there are protesting. And the U.S. just lost out big time. All thanks to one person's ignorance.
I find it hilarious that my students who are 14 to 18 years old have more critical thinking skills than a lot of adults. And yes, I'm talking about that woman in Georgia who called immigration on the Hyundai plant. Because I teach a class called In These Times, which is about current issues that we're facing right now. And they decide what we learn about. And that's what they wanted to talk about today. Because she really thought she did something there. She's like, I'm going to get 475 jobs back for the American people by calling immigration on this Hyundai plant without doing any research or even thinking for 1 second before she acted. That plant wasn't even functional yet. It was literally being set up by engineers from South Korea for a Korean company so that they could train over 8,500 American citizens to bring those manufacturing jobs into the US. The reason that they hired those Korean engineers to do this and to set it up was because, number one, the instructions were in Korean. So unless you speak Korean, you're not going to be qualified for the job. And number two, you're not going to find 475 people, Americans, who can set up the facility. And then she got on social media and bragged about it. Honey, yes, you did do something there. Because now the South Korean government, one of our allies, is not happy with us. Not only are they not happy with us, but how does that affect our economy now that they might not want to continue building manufacturing plants in the US if that's how they're going to be treated? Again, my high schoolers can think of these things. Why can't adults? Boggles my mind.
So here's the deal. Hyundai invested over $300 billion to bring in South Korean workers on legal work visas. Their job was to set up the plant, train American workers, and eventually open up thousands of US jobs in manufacturing. But this woman, who, by the way, has no ties to the plant, the auto industry, or manufacturing at all, decided to call ICE, claiming Americans were being denied jobs. Because of her, hundreds of South Korean workers got detained and even shackled. South Korea had to step in and tell the US government to release their people, reminding them these workers were here legally. And that charter plane that flew the workers home? Yeah, that wasn't America, it was South Korea who sent it. Meanwhile, this lady, her name's something like Tori or Bonnie, deleted her account after the backlash. She tried making videos saying it wasn't really her who called ICE, but girl, you literally posted about it yourself. What did she expect? People to cheer her on? In the end, her little stunt didn't just embarrass her, it cost America billions and showed just how ridiculous racism can be.
I can just imagine how that phone call went. You said, hey, I have a tip for the high-end day in Savannah. And they were like, where? And you're like, the high-end day. And then they were like, is that a hotel? Like, what is that, ma'am? And then you're like, high-end. And they're like, can you spell it for me? And that's how they got there. Because you are so intellectually lazy, you don't even know what the company's called. But anyways, I have a question. Have they picked you yet? Did you get an award or something? Oh, what am I even thinking? I keep forgetting that they reward for racist people like you, people who are so empty inside, people who really offer nothing to society, is just to see other people suffer. Your reward was really just knowing and going to sleep at night, knowing well that those people are probably going to be sent to countries where they've never been. You're probably said that Alligator Alcatraz is now closed and they're not gonna go there. And you try to double down on another video where you thought you ate, and you're like, oh, people who are upset about this don't pay taxes. I am an immigrant and I have paid collectively over $500,000 in taxes in the last 5 years. That's more money than you ever see in your whole life, and I stole your job. And I eat dogs and cats. Actually, I didn't steal your job because you would never be capable of doing my job.
Partnering with one of America's companies, LG, to produce electric vehicles, which would have brought billions to the state of Georgia and to the entirety of the United States and put a lot of people to work. Something you MAGA supporters are always complaining about. All of our manufacturing is being shipped overseas. And now that it's back in the United States, you want to open up your big fat Oopa Loopa mouth to ICE to get these people deported. And now all...
What's going to happen? That's the question we should ask. Because the number one thing that is going to happen is halting of construction projects. As I told you in the introduction, I told you that this industry was still in construction. They were still building. They were still putting infrastructure. They were still, trying to see how the industry is going to operate. They haven't even yet started. Because the plan was to teach Americans how to do it, then those Koreans have to go back in their country. Then, the most immediate and direct economic impact on the halting of construction at the multi-billion-dollar battery plant, the raid led to a detention of hundreds of South Koreans workers, which they are not happy. These have caused, problems between South Korea and the United States because the tension was there. These Koreans were, arrested, and imagine the IC doesn't care. They come and arrest you no matter what. So these many Korean workers were specialized technicians, engineers on valid business visa responsible for installing complex machinery. With their departure, the project cannot proceed. Yeah, they are the engineers. So if you fire the project engineer, you cannot keep on that project because they're the one who started from scratch. They are the one who started from the scratch. So these two men have caused Georgia to lose such engineers. So according to reports, construction has been paused until at least 2026. What? 2026? Imagine things were going well, people were constructing, but now they are no longer coming until 2026. You're going to have all these months, no people working. That's delaying of the project. Then causing a significant delays and pushing back the plant's operation timeline. This delay affects not only Hyundai LG project but also the numerous supplier companies that were planning to set up operation in the area. Then imagine you are just how you are destroying your state. MAGA. Imagine how you are destroying your state. A plant that was about to start in Georgia is delaying because of you having done your research well. You were just, went ahead and report people. Just reporting. Saying, you know what, these people are doing this and blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do your research? Just a little research. And cause tension between these friendly countries, between South Korea and United States. You as a person, you cause tension. So are you really making it great? That's the question you should ask. Are you making America great like the way you always claim, you always say that we are making it great? So what you did is the damage investor confidence. So what this woman did is the damage investor confidence and diplomatic tension, because the raid created a chilling effect on foreign investment, particularly from South Korean companies. South Korea had previously pledged to invest billions of dollars in the United States as a part of trade deal, and Georgia was a key beneficiary of this. Then, the raid and the treatment of the detained workers have led to outrage in South Korea, with officials expressing concerns and regret over the incident. Then, this has soured diplomatic relations, as I told you, and raised doubts among Korean firms about the security and stability of investing in the United States. The perceptions that immigration policies can disrupt a major business venture could, deter future investment, potentially costing Georgia billions of dollars in lost projects and jobs. So you expect people that were thinking about getting jobs, soon getting a plant there in Georgia, to come and vote you? Man, this is so crazy, so crazy. You should have done better. You should have done your research. Right now, you're causing tension between the two countries, and now South Korea is thinking twice to invest in the United States because they know exactly what happened. They know what you did. So if an immigration can pose a plant construction, man, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. Man, it is so crazy. I'm repeating this. This MAGA Karen should have done better. The good thing Americans have responded to you. So you are in instant FAFO because you F around, so you have to find out. That's how it is. You F around, that's why you have to find out. Because Americans are not ready to forgive you when you made them to lose such billions of money. They're expecting, like for example, Georgia, they're expecting such investment so big. But just one person is here to make everything collapse. So local of specialized labor and skills, the detained workers were not just manual laborers. They were specialists with unique expertise in installing and operating specific equipment used in the plant. They're not just normal workers. Yeah. So the U.S. workforce, particularly in rural Georgia, does not have the necessary skills to replace them. So the raid had created a significant labor vacuum, and it will take months, if not longer, for the companies to find willing and capable replacements, especially since the incident have made South Korean workers hesitant to return. They don't want to return. So this loss of specialized talent directly impact the project timeline and viability. So their engineers, they have their own, license. They've worked for those license. They did their best to be the best. Then they come to help your country to get, on the level they are. But you guys, you did what? You deport them. You deport them. Imagine. They have valid visa. I don't understand this. So the raid threatens to undermine Georgia's role as a leader in the emerging battery belt of United States Southeast. Georgia has attracted more than 21 billion in South Korea. Manufacturing investment across 20 projects since 2022. You see how Koreans have invested here. So the uncertainty created by raid could affect the other ongoing or other planned projects involving Korean business group in various industries, including autos, shipbuilding, steel, electrical equipment. Korean's news report indicate that at least 22 others factory sites involving Korean business have been nearly halted. You see how just one call, it can cause like even a country to lose billion and go bankrupt. Just a state like Georgia losing such investment. Man, this could have a domino effect, jeopardizing the state's broader economic development strategy, and its positioning in the green energy sector. That was the vision of Georgia. Georgia wanted to be like the base, but then just one call is making even other industries to consider. It was almost to get halted. Man, this is, so crazy. So the contradiction of state and federal economic goals, the raid highlights a major policy conflict between Georgia's pro-business, pro-foreign investment stance and federal immigration policy that is perceived as overly aggressive and at odds with economic development. So Georgia's government has provided billions in tax credits and incentive to attract these foreign firms. Yeah. But the federal enforcement action has essentially nullified those efforts. The raid show a misalignment between economic strategy and immigration enforcement, which could make it difficult for Georgia to attract foreign companies that depend on temporary business visa for specialized workers. I believe that maybe Georgia would do better or try to convince Koreans to come back, and then this plant can keep up so that people can get jobs. But this woman has faced backlash from Americans because there are some people from even Georgia, they are not ready to vote for her, because you cannot vote for such person who is going to make you jobless in just something that you cannot even understand. All right, folks, tell me what do you think about this woman. Tell me what do you think about this incident that happened in Georgia. Is this really making it America great? Tell me what do you think about this. I am a President Afika. So thank you so much.